Welcome to Matador News. I'm Jordan Saucedo.
I'm Kelly Hernandez.
Rescuers are working to pull victims from a Trans-Asia flight crash in Taiwan. 31 people are confirmed dead, however several are still missing. A taxicab dashboard camera caught the footage. Officials say 58 passengers were on board when the plane clipped a bridge before crashing in the Taipei River. Officials are searching to find the exact reason behind the cause of the crash.
Federal officials in New York are investigating last night's Delhi commuter train crash. 6 people were killed in the fiery collision when the train collided with an SUV. Investigators say the SUV was stopped on the tracks. Witnesses say the woman driver got out to lift the crossing gate off her SUV, got back in, and drove forward onto the tracks. Transit officials have not found any problems with the tracks or signals. The driver was killed along with 5 male train passengers. A dozen victims are currently being treated at a New York hospital.
Jordan responds to ISIS's execution of a Jordanian pilot by executing 2 prisoners. The prisoners were hung the day after ISIS released video of the pilot being burned alive in a cage. One of the prisoners was a woman who was supposed to be released as an exchange with the ISIS. The other prisoner was a former aide to a deceased al-Qaeda leader. The video release sparked protests in Jordan, where citizens are calling for the execution of all prisoners associated with ISIS.
Australian journalist Peter Gresta returns home after 400 days of captivity in an Egyptian prison. The Al Jazeera reporter was convicted by a Cairo court in December 2013 of false reporting on the banned terrorist group Muslim Brotherhood. Gresta says he is relieved about his freedom, but remains concerned over his 2 colleagues who are still imprisoned. Al Jazeera network officials say they will not rest until the remaining reporters are released.
President Obama's pick for the next Defense Secretary, Ashton Carter, is answering questions from the Senate Armed Services Committee. Republican senators grilled Carter on White House foreign policy in the Middle East, especially regarding territory taken by terrorist extremist group ISIL in Iraq.
It's my understanding that in coming months, the Iraqi security forces, assisted by us, will begin to take back territory from ISIL. And I think you're right that it's important to get that territory back soon, because you don't want them to settle in, and you don't want the population to settle into having ISIL rule them in their barbaric way.
Carter also says he might support the idea of giving arms to the Ukraine army, currently fighting pro-Russian separatists.
Only a few more hours left to get your lottery ticket for tonight. The prize, $317 million. Some CSUN students say they know what they would do with the money if they won.
I think I would definitely pay off some loans and definitely give back if I could.
I would probably pay off school and then I would go on vacation.
I would go on vacation. The Powerball winning numbers will be up at 7 tonight.
Now we have Cristal Canedo with the latest business news.
Thanks, Jordan. Office supply giant Staples has agreed to buy Office Depot. The $6 billion merger will create a mega office supply chain. Both companies' board of directors voted unanimously to approve the merger. The companies' combined yearly income will reach more than $35 billion. The merger is expected to conclude by the end of this year. Now let's go to Harry Abelson with the latest health stories.
Lung cancer is now the leading cause of cancer deaths for women in developed countries. This, according to the American Cancer Society, based on statistics from the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Some of the highest lung cancer rates for women are seen in North America and Europe. Lung cancer causes more deaths than 3 of the most common cancers combined, including breast cancer. Smoking is the main contributor to the rise in deaths. Over 150,000 Americans are expected to die from lung cancer this year alone. The measles outbreak is spreading across the U.S. More than 100 people across 14 states have developed the sickness. The outbreak began at Disneyland in December. Federal officials say the outbreak probably began from an infected person returning from overseas. Only those who have not previously had the measles or the vaccination can get the virus. Now let's go to Cristal Canedo with the latest entertainment story.
For the first time, Sports Illustrated famed swimsuit issue will feature a plus-size model. The size 16 model, Ashley Graham, will be in an ad in the next magazine. Some CSUN students say size doesn't matter.
It's just kind of awkward that they're going about having a plus-size issue. I mean, would you buy an issue that said mini size, like for really, really like petite women? Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's kind of creating like an absurd dichotomy in the way people view the way men or women are supposed to physically look.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just because a woman's thick doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the magazine. Like me personally, I kind of like thick women. I like skinny women as well, so it doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, I would buy it if it had good, I guess, content in terms of writing, but just because of the cover, it definitely doesn't affect me.
The issue will be on newsstands February 9th. Now back to Harry Abelson with sports.
Fans of the New England Patriots are celebrating their team's recent Super Bowl victory. The team held a parade in Boston this morning. Thousands of fans were in attendance to watch the players hold up the Vince Lombardi trophy and wave to their supporters. The Patriots rode aboard World War II-style duck vehicles. Those vehicles have become popular among the city's championship parades. A truck even blew confetti into the air, which drew excitement from the fans. The recent win was the 4th Super Bowl victory for the Patriots and their first in a decade. That's all for sports. Now back to news.
I'm Jordan Saucedo.
I'm Kelly Hernandez. Thank you for watching our show today.